The road to love is exciting, funny, and sometimes can even be heartbreaking. But in the end, it'll all be worth it. Join me on my journey to love. Hey everybody, it's LaRonda and I am back with another video, and today's video is going to be a little bit about my 10th first date of 2021, as well as how things are going about men finding out about my YouTube channel. So how that second topic comes about is that I went on my 10th first date of 2021 and met this guy on Bumble again. We had a date, decided to meet up. Now, before we met up, we were having some conversations over Bumble. And he had told me that he had only been in the country for 6 months from Turkey, and that he didn't speak a lot of English yet. So that he was using Google Translate. Now, of course, me being the person who I am, there's two things that I was feeling about this. One is I know what that's like already, and it's not an easy relationship. You know, being able to converse and share your thoughts and your feelings with somebody in your native tongue, or at least fluently in the tongue that you two decide to use together, is so important. And I'll get to why that is in a few minutes. But I mean, I'm sure you can probably guess in a lot of ways why that's so important. I know in my marriage with my ex-husband, it was one of those things that was really difficult. On top of the cultural differences and the way that we thought of life and things like that, you know, not really being able to fully get the person to understand how you're feeling and what you're thinking. Because even though, like, after all these years, I speak some Spanish, it's still very difficult for me to get across a lot of the things that I'm feeling or thinking sometimes in Spanish. And so imagine, with this man just being here for 6 months, how difficult that's going to be, and how difficult a relationship, if we were to cultivate something, him being here, me being in Puerto Rico, trying to have a relationship with somebody who can't really talk to me over the phone because it's easier for us to just use Google Translate and stuff like that. Anyway, but when we had our date, we met up, we had a nice dinner at the restaurant. We use Google Translate a lot. He is trying to learn English and taking some classes and all that kind of stuff. He was very much a gentleman. I felt like, he may have really appreciated me because he was like kind of staring at me and looking at me so closely and talking about, like it was like he was mesmerized by my beauty and all this kind of stuff. And of course, there's part of me that thinks, okay, is this a fetish? Because he had mentioned that there's not a lot of black people in Turkey. And I know when I went there, people were snapping pictures and stuff like that. Like when I'm walking by, snapping pictures and asking me to hold their baby and take pictures and stuff like that. So I know that there is a possibility that I was something new and novel to him as well. So anyway, at the end of the night, we made some plans to go out today, as a matter of fact. And as you can see, I am not out with him. I'm here making a video with you. And what ended up happening was he messaged me this morning and asked me what did I want to do. And because I wasn't sure really what I wanted to do when we left off on our last date, my thought is, maybe let's just go get something to eat or whatever. And so anyway, I told him today when he messaged me, I still wasn't really sure. I was out with my mom doing some things, and I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. But then, so what ended up happening was I asked him, well, what do you want to do? And he had said something about, having wine at home and having some drinks at home. And of course, so I'm like, no, because I don't know him that well. And so for me to go to a man's house, I want to know you a little bit better. Like, we've had, a few little chat conversations over Bumble. Then we met in person, but it's still not easy to get to know somebody when you don't speak the same language. And I certainly don't feel like I knew him enough to like go over to his house and all of that. So I said, since he wanted to have wine, I sent him back a suggestion of a wine bar. And then he was like, well, I don't want to drink and drive. And he didn't want to do the wine bar. So I'm like, well, maybe we can just get something to eat without the wine. Let's just go get something to eat. Plus, remember, this is only our second date. It's not like we've been doing, 3 or 4 dates or whatever. We've been having hours long conversations this week. We haven't. And so, for someone to invite me over to their place was not what I really wanted to do. And so then anyway, he comes back to me moments later and says, so are you just going out with me because this is your first time going out with a Turkish man and you want some content, or you want to talk about the date for your YouTube channel or whatever? And I said, well, my thought is, well, if that was all I really wanted, then I would already have had what the content was that I needed to make the video, because I've already been out on one date with the guy. But I told him, no, that's not why I'm going out with him. I'm going out with him, because I do my YouTube channels because that's like my therapy. And I'm going out with him. I was interested in him. He's a handsome guy. And even though we had the language barrier, I was, of course, willing to work through it because I've done it before, even though in the back of my mind, I know this is going to be hard. It may not work or whatever, but the eternal optimist in me says push through and try it anyway, or at least go out on a second date and see how it goes. So anyway, when he came back to me with that, and I told him, no, it's not just for content, that I do these videos because I'm talking about, my journey and what's been happening to me, because dating has been something difficult for me over these last years, and trying to find love and all of that, and going through all these different dates. And so that brings me to my next question is, like, there's been a few men that I think, and I don't know this for sure because a lot of times they don't even say it, but my thought is, I wonder sometimes if they have found out about my YouTube channel and then decided that they want to stop talking to me about it. But here's the thing. So like, I think, right, if you are a decent guy and you know how to go on a decent date, just like this guy, I was going to say nothing but good things about him. He opened my car door. He helped me put my coat on when it was time to go. When he dropped me off at my place, because I did let him drop me off because we ended the date pretty late and I had walked to the restaurant. He dropped me off and waited until I got inside before he pulled away. And then he texted me when he got home and all of that. So my thought was, he was a perfect gentleman. He didn't try to kiss me. He didn't try to, grope me or do anything crazy. So I was actually looking forward to going out with him again. But then when he found out about the YouTube channel and he didn't understand it, and obviously I don't know that what I said in English translated well in Turkish, or even that, culturally it was something that he could understand. I know that there's a possibility that men will see this channel and think that, okay, well, if she starts dating me and we're like serious and exclusive, if we have problems, it's going to end up on the YouTube channel. But if you know me, you know that I've never shared problems or issues with the men that I've dated. I've barely shared that I've dated any men, like once a relationship has been longer term, those men haven't ended up on the channel until after it was over. I may talk about them or talk about something that we did or had together or whatever. But, for me, this channel is all about the process of dating and the things that I've gone through when I'm trying to find a man that I want to be serious about and who wants to be serious about me. But, and I've thought about like, what will my channel be once I find someone great and we become serious? For me, I would love to turn it into, a channel where we talk about, how we're navigating our relationship, or, maybe just talk about everyday life. If there's cultural differences, how we're navigating those. Or maybe I'll just continue talking about what my journey has been like now that I've found love and how I'm feeling and whatever. But, I'm not one of these people that puts my problems in my relationship into the streets, because I don't believe in that. But I think sometimes for me, these, like all these first dates and how I'm feeling about those and how they've gone and all of that kind of stuff, for me it's like therapy, because a lot of times I feel like I don't have anybody to talk to about my dating life. Most of my friends are married. They've already doing their things or whatever, and they don't want to hear about me out here trying to navigate what's going on in the dating game today and apps and all of that kind of stuff, So I come on here just to get it off my chest. And so, like, my thought would be, like, I would wish that instead of just seeing my channel and then deciding that you're going to block me or stop talking to me or never see me again, that maybe you talk to me about it. Because my thing is this too, like, and this is where the whole language barrier thing comes back into play, and cultural differences and all of that. Because I think about it in terms of like, if we can't navigate, these little misunderstandings in the beginning without just, throwing up our hands and ending things. Like, imagine, trying to navigate a long distance relationship, or trying to navigate, all of the stuff that happens when you're not in the sight of somebody, and trying to have those conversations, those very important conversations that you need to be able to get through every day when you're not with somebody all the time, or when conflict arises and stuff, and just not having the words to be able to make yourself understood, and I think about that, and I look down the road and I'm like, well, is that something that I would be able to really do, or that I think we should do? It was hard. When I was married before, that was one of the hardest things about the relationship, is not feeling like I could make myself understood, or when conflict arose, trying to find the words to explain myself in a language and like really get the sentiment of what I'm trying to say out. It was hard. And I've kind of thought about, like, I don't know if I want to do that again. But anyway, I guess what I'm feeling today is like a little bit of conflict within myself. Is like, is me coming on and talking about, the struggles that I'm having with my dates and dating and navigating and understanding men, is that also shooting myself in the foot? When it comes to finding love, am I shooting myself in the foot by making these videos? I've disconnected my Instagram from my dating profile just because sometimes I advertise my videos, which, by the way, I do not make any money on. My videos are not monetized. I don't have advertising on them or anything like that. So if people think I'm doing this for money, I'm not making any money. I have not made a single dime off of a single video that I've created on this channel. And so, if anything, I've wasted, or not wasted, let me backtrack. It's not wasted money, but like, I've spent money because I've bought a camera, I've bought tripods, I've bought, ring lights and all this stuff to do these videos. So I'm not making any money off of them. I've lost money on them at the end of the day. So, you know, it's not about the money. It's not about, you know, trying to put my business in the streets or, you know, but sometimes I think it's important to understand when you're out here single to know that there are other people going through the same struggles as you are. You know, I think a lot of times people try to portray that their dating life is going so well and that they're so happy being single, or that, you know, all of their dates are wonderful and all of that. But like for me, that hasn't been the case. And so for me to be able to share this stuff and let other women know that you're not the only one that has men talking to you or inviting you to their place on the first or second date. You're not the only one who men have tried to do things with that they shouldn't have on the first or second date. You're not the only one that has gone through these things, and that, you know, it's okay and there's nothing wrong with you. So anyway, I don't know. You know, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of tired. I'm going to be going back home to Puerto Rico here on Monday, and I guess I'm kind of looking forward to getting back to my own place and kind of going back to the regular pace of dating, which has been very slow. On the island, it's a little bit slower, you know, because there's not as many men and all of that stuff. So, you know, let's see what happens there. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do, everybody. Like, yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to come on and say that. And, you know, if that guy is watching, which, you know, he may or may not be able to understand what I'm saying. But, you know, I would like him to know that I did have a nice time on our date. And this is not, I'm out here really looking for somebody that I have a decent and real connection with. Like real chemistry. I'm looking for a real person that can be a long-term partner for me. I'm not just looking for content on my channel or just taking free meals from people or any of that. I don't care about any of that. What I want and I'm looking for is a real connection, because at the end of the day, I'm ready for a partner. You know, I'm ready to have someone in my life who I can trust, who I can believe in, who believes in me, you know, who we can build an empire, little empire or big empire, as big as we want to make it together, and have a nice family and do lots of fun things together and love each other and care for each other and take care of each other. All of that, that's what I'm looking for. And that's why when you asked me to go over to your house, I said no, because I don't want to have to, you know, be put in any positions where, you know, something is forced on me, because I've been there and done that. And so, you know, when people ask me to go to their place on a first date, I say no. If I was just out here looking for content or just looking for any old thing, I would say yes and just go there and do it. But that's not what I want. I'm looking for something real. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I don't even know how long this video is at this point, but thank you for watching. If you like these videos, please do subscribe, and you know, give me a comment. Let me know, what do you think? If you're a man, share with me your opinion why men would shy away or decide that they don't want to see me anymore because they found out that I have a YouTube channel about my dating life. Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear it. Please be constructive, and, you know, you don't have to be mean about it. You know, if you don't like it, you know, please be nice enough to say it with some tact. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy dating, everybody. Bye-bye.